Welcome to another episode of Series C Growthonomics. Today, we'll continue and close our conversation on customer analytics. In prior episodes, we've talked about what is customer analytics, why is it important. We also talked about acquisition analytics, retention analytics. Last time, we talked about segmentation. And today, we're going to talk about lifetime value. So it's another subject which is often desired by organizations. They want to know the lifetime value of customers, their individual customers, but it's often very hard for them to achieve that in a successful manner. So I'm going to talk about why you should invest in lifetime value. So lifetime value, or often referred to as CLV, is a projected value for a customer or a cohort over a period of time. So let's say some people might calculate a 1-year CLV or a 2-year CLV or even longer. And the reason you are interested in a projected value of the customer, because another way of looking at a value of the customer is, let's say it's today, as of today, how much value a customer has generated. You can also normalize that by month, like average monthly value. And we talked about that you can use that as in the RFM segmentation we talked about last time as the M value, right? So monetary value. However, if you just look at the historical value, then by the time you understand that, the customers who have been here with you for a longer time, even normalized, those who are habituated, you'll only know that they are valuable after they've had time to show their, be engaged and show what value you generate for them and hence the value they generate for you. So it's too late if you just look at historical value and then react accordingly. And the reason why you want to react is, if some customer is worth $200 versus somebody which is worth $15, you want to be able to do different. You will be able to, let's say you were going to do marketing, you're going to be able to do incremental marketing, much more. You're able to spend a lot more dollars on this group versus this group, versus the $15 group, right? So it's important to do, and that's marketing is one use case. There are many use cases where you're able to customize your offering, your rewards, your engagement products that you build based on the value that the customer is about to generate. Now, if you look to only do it in a historical perspective, just till date, what is the value, then you may be too late to the game. If you could actually do it as a projected value and say, hey, here a customer comes in and I look at based on their first transaction or first activity, I'm able to predict that this customer is high value versus another customer who comes in is low value. Now you are able to set them on a path of differential engagement, personalization, customization based on what you expect this customer to show up as. Now, how do you do LTV? Broadly speaking, there are two ways of looking at LTV. One is done at cohort level. The other one is done at individual level. Now, the cohort level is often used in advertising and other, like when you're looking at spend. For example, you may understand that the Facebook cohort, meaning the whole Facebook cohort, you have looked at it historically. The Facebook cohort generates, in essence, $20 value for you, whereas the Instagram generates $200 value for you. Now you know that those you acquired from Instagram tend to be more valuable, and this could be, let's say, 1-year LTV. And also, by the way, one thing I want to talk about is the way you define your value is up to you, right? It could be net of cost, net of marketing, or it could be gross value the customer generates. Those definitions are for you internally. It depends on you internally and depends on how you are able to use this value, right? So there's no set rule for that. It's the value that is most applicable, most useful for you within your organization is the value that you would do. Some people do it on profits, however way that you want to model. So let's say when you know that this Facebook, going back to our customer, Facebook cohort generates $20, the customer's average value they generate is $20, whereas Instagram, it's $200. Now you are able to actually shift your marketing budget. You are able to treat them differently. You are able to even create rewards and programs based on the value that they, because somebody who's going to be generating likely $200, you can afford to give them $50 off. Whereas for the Facebook one, since their value total generated is $20, you would not want to do that. So that's one way of doing that, cohort analysis. The other way to do it is individual. So can you, and most people, you should start with cohort analysis. This is simpler, what would be considered a simpler analytics, right? Individual analytics and projection of it needs statistical models and machine learning often. And that you can do it two ways. One is you look at, often people may look at just the dollar value and then project it out as is. Sometimes it's broken down into two parts of it, which is the average retention and times the monthly value. So that's another way it's a model where the average retention, for example, for somebody may be 20 months, and then the monthly value they generate is $10. So their 2-year LTV might be $200, right? So these are two broad ways. In the individual one, you can often model it either as a single value or breaking it down into two different, and each of these will have its own, can have its own model. The other thing to think about is often you might need to segment, and I'm talking about now advanced analytics, machine learning. Often in our our Series funded startups, the value is concentrated into very small. So most of the customer, let's say this is value, this is LTV. Most of the customers have very little value, and then there's a long tail of values. So long tail of value from, so most customers, maybe 90% of your customers generate less than $10. And then the 10% of them have a long tail from 10 to $10,000 or something like that. And so you might want to segment your model as you get to, there might be two models, one for $10 and less, the other one for $10,000 to $100,000, and that may improve your model accuracy and so on. Anyway, the point being, customer lifetime value is very, very important for you to do, so that you can feed that as a value into your segmentation, as well as customize, personalize, create better ROI for your marketing efforts and so on. And you would also always want to start with simpler methods, cohort level analysis, and then and it's often used as a way of investor reporting to understand, hey, we spent $2 million for growth, and this is a value, total lifetime value that we see being generated, let's say 2 years down the line. And this tells your investors, gives your investors some confidence that your marketing dollar is well spent. So start with simpler cohort level analysis, but then if you are able to extend it to individual level, that's where you will see greater value, especially as your base scales. And you have more heterogeneous group, you will be able to leverage the value that you generate for them better. So with that, closing on customer analytics, hope if you have any questions, please ask and share and comment, and then we'll see you next time.